Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are, and welcome to this Techstrong learning experience brought to you by Precisely. My name is Cody, and I'm the host of Techstrong Learning, and we do have an exciting yet brief program ahead. Before we get things kicked off, I do have just a couple of housekeeping notes to review. Today's session is being recorded, so if you miss any of our discussion, perhaps you'd like to rewatch or share with a friend. The on-demand recording will be made available shortly after we conclude our live session today. Now, if you want to engage with us, you can do so using the right side of the screen. The first option you'll find is the chat tab. You can go ahead and start warming that up for us right now by letting us know from where you are joining us today. Now, this is a short program, so I know we'll only get a couple of questions in, but we do want you to go ahead and send those in using the Q&A tab, which is directly to the right of the chat tab. If we do not get to your question today, we are going to make sure to send that over to the folks at Precisely, and they can respond to you accordingly post-webinar. And of course, we will be giving away 4 $25 Amazon gift cards, so be sure to stick around for the duration of our program. Our topic is why a streaming-first approach to digital modernization matters. And I'm joined today by Ashwin Ramachandran, Senior Director of Product Management at Precisely. We will also be assisted in our Q&A portion by Alika Treacle, who will be helping out with some of our questions. So Ashwin, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you want to go ahead and take it from here?
Let's jump right into it. What I wanted to do, though, before I really get into the meat of the subject, is to take a minute and discuss the importance of the cloud and how it's driving the businesses that we work with. It's obviously clear that moving to the cloud is a priority, but doing so quickly is also tied up in that. And there are a lot of challenges when it comes to doing that quickly. You know, you can see some research here cited on the slide that indicates 85% of organizations will embrace the cloud first principle by 2025. That's just a couple of years away. Over half of data leaders cite data modernization as a core driver for that shift to the cloud. And approximately $100 billion of wasted migration spend is expected over the next 3 years. So despite all this excitement around getting to the cloud, getting there quickly, organizations do need to be careful in these efforts. In fact, migration can come at a very heavy cost. McKinsey and Company recently conducted a study showing that over 75% of these cloud migration projects are over budget. 37% is spent on systems integrators, and that's oftentimes just due to the fact that organizations don't have the in-house cloud skills themselves to manage these projects. And 15% of those costs are spent just on decommissioning costs for other platforms, right? There's not necessarily a one-for-one shift from A to B, from data center to the cloud. So actual decommissioning is a big challenge. And on top of all this, 38% of cloud migration projects tend to run behind schedule, right? And as a result, companies are looking to staff more of these skills in-house, more of that talent in-house, up to 50% based on this study, just so that they don't have to rely as heavily on third parties and introduce that extra dimension of risk. Now, the way we see it, getting data to the cloud is really only the first step, and it's a tiny first step. The bigger business problem that really does need to be solved is that of data integrity. It's something that we at Precisely are really passionate about. And you can find any number of articles and surveys in the press or analyst reports that really dig into this issue of data integrity. Here you'll just see a few stats from Forbes, the Harvard Business Review, and Precisely's own data trends survey. Now, when 2/3 of organizations say that siloed data is negatively impacting their organization, or that almost half, 1 in 2 new data records have at least one critical error, it really is no wonder that 84% of CEOs say that they're concerned about the integrity of the data that they're making decisions on, right? It makes sense. There's all this investment going into data projects, ML, AI, better analytics, faster analytics, net new customer experiences. But if all the decisions that you're making on are founded on shaky data, you have a problem. And so, what I would say here is successful digital modernization programs are ones that are fueled by pipelines that are trusted and deliver data in a way that fits your need. Now, these pipelines could be data integration pipelines, they could be data quality pipelines, they could be observability pipelines, but nonetheless, they are pipelines that you trust and deliver data in a way that fits your needs. So whether that's once a day, once a week, once a month, once an hour, or once per transaction as the transaction commits. So a single solution for all your business demands, what would that look like? And specifically, what would that look like from the data integration side of the business? Well, number one, that would be a solution that allows you to leverage resilient and fault-tolerant data replication. As we see customers moving from ELT type architectures to ETL type architectures to ELT architectures, change data capture is a great tool to not only do lightweight change detection and do dynamic data loading, but I would say it's actually an imperative one. It allows you to move faster and it allows you to, really scale up, right? We work with customers who are pushing along over 1 billion transactions in just 4 hours, right? So having a data integration pipeline that can scale to those needs of today, as well as the needs that you're going to expect in a month, in a year, in 5 years as your business grows, scalability and performance is critical. Now, in that same vein, design once, deploy anywhere as an architecture is also very important. Today, your data landscape may be within your data center. Tomorrow, it may span the data center to the public cloud. And, in a couple of years, it may include your data center, a private cloud, and multiple public clouds. So being able to design your integration once and then deploy it within the architecture of the day is going to be important. And then finally, having a pipeline architecture that delivers data when you need it and where you need it is hypercritical, right? When you need it talks to what we mentioned before, right? Once a day, once an hour, once per transaction. Where you need it could speak to the right breadth of connectivity for your use case. Now, for a cloud native solution that addresses all of your business demands, we actually have the data integrity suite. So this is a modular interoperable set of modules that delivers everything you need to deliver accurate data that's consistent across the entire data landscape and is in the right business context whenever or wherever you need it. So there's 7 modules within the suite today, and they're built on proven precisely technology deployed across 12,000 plus customers globally. And not only do these suite modules work together, but they also work alongside a portfolio of existing precisely products that you may own, thereby easily allowing you to adopt new suite capabilities for any new use cases that fit it whenever you choose. All of these suite module elements sit on a common foundation that's modular, it's interoperable, intelligent, and it's friendly to business users as well. This really does provide a range of services ranging from metadata management to a data catalog to a core agent architecture and more that really facilitates data sharing between the modules as well as any sort of third-party platforms and offerings to help deliver incremental value. Now, the first module we're really talking about today is data integration. Typically, in any major data initiatives, you first need to connect to where your data lives and then move or replicate it to another environment. Well, with data integration, you can easily create these streaming data pipelines that integrate your data from the core transactional environments like relational databases, mainframe, iSeries, with your modern cloud stack, platforms like Kafka to help drive new projects, a new real-time application, extend the value of your existing mission-critical systems. We take it very seriously that your pipelines must scale for your needs today or meet your needs today and scale and extend for the growth of your business tomorrow. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into that. What we really see is these core capabilities helping position IT teams for success. So it enables systems to be accurate and stay up to date, leveraging real-time replication. So your data lake is fresh and it contains not just more easily accessible data through something like an API or through a SaaS application, but it also contains this really complex, mission critical, legacy data from mainframe, iSeries, etc., and includes them within these cloud modernization projects. Number two, we help democratize that data, right? More users in your business have more access to data that doesn't require an SME or a third party to go fetch it. And we've got a single solution that can really take data wherever it is and get it where it needs to be, and keeping that process very straightforward. And then lastly, we're trying to help you make the most out of your architecture, right? So like I mentioned before, it's future proofed. It solves for your data landscape today. It scales for your data volumes for tomorrow. And you don't need to maintain, bespoke ETL processes that are expensive to maintain, expensive to build, and prevent innovation within your IT organization. So we at Precisely have helped thousands of customers solve some of these strategic integration problems. We have the data integrity suite, which we just discussed, and even with our Connect offering that was traditionally on premises, we've helped customers solve strategic problems like, how do I leverage this core operational data to reduce my time to market of building and bringing to market new revenue generating applications? How do I do it in a way that simplifies my data integration motion and the resulting data lifecycle, while enabling projects that ensure a better customer experience, right? Data integration, in my view, is a really, really key enabler to doing exciting things in your business with data. You can't do it without having an integration framework in place. And with the right integration framework, like what we have with the Data Integrity Suite, you can more easily adopt new platforms for your strategic data initiatives. That's going to increase the value of your cloud investments, right? Your cloud investment is nothing without the data, and we help you get the data. Not just the data, but all of that critical enterprise data. Now, the second module I really want to talk about with the suite is the data governance module. This module has a very unique business first approach to governance, with a core focus on ease of use and a flexible metadata model. This allows you to kind of adapt our offering to how your business runs and more easily communicate the trustworthiness of data in order to ensure that your key outcomes are achieved and successfully socialized across all users within your business. But for example, when you access data, such as that sales pipeline report, do you always have the necessary context to make heads or tails of it? Well, data governance helps you understand additional details, things like definitions of the fields, who else in your team has accessed the report recently, lineage, tracing back the data to where it came from, or where sensitive data may exist, right? Again, it's all about getting better trust in that data. Now, the data governance module and the catalog are leveraging proven technology we have in place with Data 360 and our Infogix acquisition from 2021. And I think this is a really good example of how we're not necessarily just building something brand new that's green and not tested in the market, but we're really taking core strengths that we already have and modernizing them and repackaging them in a more modern, easy to use user interface as well. So with that, I would like to close this portion by just saying, organizations that use a streaming first approach to data are the ones that are able to build competitive advantage. The demand for trusted data has never been greater than it is now. And the Data Integrity Suite is really a one-stop shop for data integrity. That's a key thing I want to stress, right? We can solve a core differentiated set of problems, and Precisely is really here to help you along every step along the way of your data integrity journey, be it data integration or data governance like we talked about, or other areas like data observability, data quality, location analytics, and geocoding, or data enrichment. So we'd love the opportunity to talk to you more about how we can help you in that journey to data integrity. So with that, let me turn it back to the audience for any questions.
Thank you, Ashwin. The first question we have is, do you integrate other sources and targets?
Yeah, we do. We do support a broad array of sources and targets. I think, typically, like I said, while the mainframe and iSeries are a strength of us, we have a lot of customers who use us for data integration across operational platforms like, a host of different relational databases, flat files, etc. And we also do have a strong SAP automation business, which specifically focuses on kind of getting data into and out of SAP systems. And that while that is a separate thing, it is something that Precisely as an organization is able to assist with. On the target end, Kafka continues to be a huge area of growth, just given it's well suited to the types of use cases that we talked about. And then on beyond that, we continue to expand that target connectivity to platforms like Snowflake, Databricks, etc.
Great. We have another question here. How is your governance solution different than the governance that Kafka offers for its pipelines?
Yeah, so it's a good question. What I would say is Kafka and Confluent definitely enable better governance around data and metadata within Kafka. But the solution is not oriented towards broader data governance use cases that deal with things like business glossaries, technical metadata, rule enforcement, things of that nature. So I would say they're really complementary, right? When we work with data in Kafka, we do leverage the schema registry. The schema registry is the mechanism by which Kafka is able to impose some governance around what's sitting in the topics. So we just layer on top of that, really, right? It's not an equivalent thing. They're really additive.
Wonderful. Next question is, do you have any use cases that you can speak to?
Sure. So from a use case perspective, I think one that I would point to would be a company like Sky. So this is Sky Network in New Zealand, and what they did was they had a top-down initiative to move to the cloud, modernize a lot of their business processes and their analytics. So their old scenario or their before scenario was one that where they had kind of homegrown bespoke ETL processes that took anywhere from 4 to 10 hours or so to run. They were burying IT teams in a lot of maintenance, things of that nature. And by moving to a streaming first architecture, leveraging Connect, leveraging technologies like change data capture, they were actually able to take that and modernize it to an extent now where if they've got new data sets to which they need to get access, do reporting, build BI dashboards on top of, that's a couple minutes. It doesn't bog down their IT teams and writing new code, testing it, maintaining it, etc. Right? So now they're able to tap into these critical business systems like subscriber data, chart of accounts, etc., that sit on their iSeries. And now they've got a very lightweight mechanism to integrate that data, feed it to where it needs to be. So I think that's a really, really great story. And it's one of those stories that, once you get an initial success, it's going to create more demand for data and kind of help those data teams be champions within the organizations.
Okay, and it looks like that is it for questions. Before we sign off, I would like to thank our attendees. We thank you all for your time today, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the very near future. Thank you.
Awesome. Ashwin, thank you so much for joining us today. And Alika, thank you for moderating our questions. So as promised, we did keep today short. We're going to give you back the next 40 minutes of your day so that you can resume either your workday, your dinner, your rest of your lunch. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I would like to remind everyone that our session was recorded. Following this program, you will receive an email with a link to access this recording on demand. You can also find it living on the DevOps website at devops.com/webinars, and be sure to look in the on-demand section. The winners of our 4 $25 Amazon gift card drawing, they are Amit A., Omotayo A., Perry C., and Lizette H. So to our 4 winners, congratulations. Keep an eye on your inbox to claim your gift card. If you don't happen to see that email in about the next 48 hours, check your spam folder just in case it got filtered out. I'd like to thank Precisely for sponsoring our program today. And to everyone who's been with us, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we do also appreciate your feedback. As soon as we close out, there will be a survey that pops up. Let us know if you liked this format, this short form. If you would have liked to hear more, let us know. We do want to hear your feedback. And if you have any suggestions for a future program, do let us know in the survey here as well, because we do want to gauge what you are interested in and bring you content that you want. So thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone can disconnect. Ashwin and Alika, thank you so much.